Hey guys, thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at the price of Bitcoin versus the number of active addresses with a color-coded time dimension. So if you guys like this content, please subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on and like the video. And check out the Telegram and Discord channels in the description below. So I first want to give a shout out here to coinmetrics.io. They have some community data there that is freely available. And this is where I got the number of active addresses from, so I'm just giving them a shout out, just because I like to, I want to just cite the source for the data, and especially if anyone else wants to play with the data, you can just go find it at coinmetrics.io. So what we're going to be looking at today is the price again, but this is on a logarithmic scale on the y-axis, and then we're looking at the number of active addresses on a logarithmic scale on the x-axis. Now you can see that we have a color bar over here, this legend, or a color bar that goes from 2009 out until 2020. So when we're dark blue over here, or early on, I should say, when we're dark blue, that means we're in the early phases of Bitcoin. We're in like 2010, moving into 2011. And as we get into the lighter blue, that's more around 2012, 2013, into the lighter green. 2014 is going from, say, the greenish to the yellow as we get into 2015, and then 2016 is orange, and then 2017 is moving into this orangish red, and then we go into red and then dark red as we get into 2020. So I hope that makes sense. Each data point is color-coded with respect to the date at which it is representing, and there is a single data point for every day. So keep that in mind. So we have data points here that are spanning, the last decade, essentially. Now, it's interesting. I mean, it's fairly obvious, this trend here. We're moving up fairly linearly on this log scale. And if I plot in here these, active, or if I just draw lines at these orders of magnitude for active addresses, you can kind of see how the price moves up as the number of active addresses move up. So from when we had a total of, say, 1,000 addresses that were active, the price was between, say, say 2 or 3 to 4 cents up to 20 to 30 cents. And then once the order of magnitude increased by 1 and we had 10,000 active addresses, the price ranged between $2 and, say, $9. So it increased actually fairly significantly between this order of magnitude of 1,000 addresses that are active to 10,000 active addresses. And then moving forward again to 100,000 active addresses, the price increased again from ranging from around $100 up to a few $100s, or you could even say all the way up to $1,000 potentially, depending on if you include that shift backwards. Now, from 10 to the 5 to 10 to the 6, so we're going from 100,000 active addresses to 1,000,000 active addresses. You can see that where it crosses this line, it actually occurs around $5,000 or $6,000 up to around, say, $20,000 or so. So this is pretty interesting because you get a better sense for the macro level view of what Bitcoin is doing. Now I want to point out how this time, the time to go between each of these lines is getting longer, because over here, back between, say, 1,000 and 10,000 active addresses, it only took about a year or so to go from here to here, from 10 to the 3 to 10 to the 4. But going from, say, maybe from 2011 to almost 2014 or 2013 to 2014, it took 2 or 3 years between 10,000 active addresses and 100,000. And then it took, 4 years between, say, 100,000 active addresses and 1,000,000. Now I'm not giving exact dates and times, but you more or less get the idea that the time needed to go from to continue to increase the number of active addresses by an order of magnitude is getting longer and longer. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. So the next milestone would obviously be 10 million active addresses, but currently we're just somewhere in this region over here. We're about at 1 million. And we still have a long way to go. I mean, we haven't even really hardly ventured into this territory yet. And you can see that, each time we have kind of like a horizontal movement and then a movement up. A horizontal movement in active addresses, and then the price responds later. Number of active addresses increases, and then the price responds. So we're looking really to see a significant shift in active addresses to really see that price push up to that $100,000 mark. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Now, here I'm just drawing these imaginary lines that try to encapsulate the general trend that the number of, or the price versus active addresses is kind of moving between. So you can kind of see it's oscillating between these two lines in a sense. And if we were to draw horizontal lines, and the reason I did this is just to highlight each order of magnitude. So from 10 cents, $1, $10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and 1 million. So potentially, if we were to continue increasing, we would expect us, to move sideways for a bit. And that doesn't mean the price can't increase. I mean, these. A lot of these bands can be, between like for instance, this band over here back in the last market cycle was between say $300 or $400 up to $1,000. So the price can still increase significantly, but to see that serious move up to say 6 figures, we really need to see a uptick in the number of active addresses if the historical pattern were to mean anything. So what I'm kind of speculating, which is just my own personal opinion, and I easily could be wrong, but I imagine something like this, where we, and note that I've only drawn in a few data points. Clearly, I would expect this to take place over the next, say, 2 or 3 years. But I've only drawn a few data points in just for simplicity. But I would essentially expect us to move sideways, maybe potentially hit this upwards line over here, which does not actually mean anything, and then to make another move up. So this is kind of what I see. I would love to know what you guys think about it. If you just think it's complete or hilarious that I'm plotting this, or if you actually think there's some validity to it, let me know in the comment section below. And again, if you guys want to access this type of data, then check out coinmetrics.io. So I think that'll wrap it up for this video. Again, if you guys want to subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it, and check out the Telegram channel in the description below. And again, I'll be continuing to run polls through some of my social channels to figure out what other coins can I look at other than say Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I'm primarily looking at. What other coins do you guys want to see me analyze? Make the case for it. Obviously, I already have a lot in my head that I know I could go through, but I would like to hear from my viewers. What do you guys want to see? So let me know in the comment section. Join the Telegram channel, and also cast your vote. That'll wrap it up for this video. Until next time, bye.